to make a deal with us, we don't have to make a deal with them. There's no difference between China and any other country except they are much larger.
Yeah, right. There's no difference between China and, for example, Finland, except for just size and power and wealth and international influence and military might. Actually, when it comes to a trade war, this is beginning to sound like a somewhat significant difference. Here's a few reasons I think China are definitely coming out ahead in this trade war that I don't think are being talked about that much. Firstly, strategy, in that China actually seems to have one of those. These are the two largest economies in history clashing each other, which means there's a lot of intricate, detailed moving parts involved, which is why the actions being taken by the Chinese are intricate and detailed. China have targeted specific industries in specific states that form a significant piece of the backbone of the US economy, and also of Donald Trump's voter base. They've also taken steps to replace those US imports with imports from other countries to minimize the economic toll this takes on their own people. They've also halted exports of rare earth materials to the US that are absolutely vital to the tech industry, the basket where the US economy at the moment has the vast majority of its eggs. They also seem like they're about to start dumping US bonds and debt. They're allowing their manufacturers to counterfeit Western products with no consequences. Hong Kong has halted the movement of posts destined for the US. All sorts of things. All sorts of targeted, intricate, detailed things. The American strategy seems to be bigger number. We didn't win yet? Make the number bigger. This is a clumsy strategy, right? Or more specifically, it's not really a trade war strategy. It's a PR campaign. This, I don't think, is even meant to intimidate China, because China understand what's going on. This is meant to impress people who don't understand what's going on. The kind of people for whom ideas like intricate strategy are somewhat foreign concepts. Which brings me to my next reason why I think America might be cooked here, which is popularity. China really don't need it as much. See, the Chinese government have not spent the last year touring their country making lots of promises they definitely can't deliver on. I'm gonna end the wars in Palestine and Ukraine before I even take office. The markets are gonna surge. They're definitely not going to crash. Egg prices are gonna be the lowest you've ever seen. You're gonna win so much, you're gonna get tired of winning. This man is on the clock to impress the people that fell for that story, and every loud, clumsy move he makes reflects that, which is not actually going that well. Right? Trump's approval rating for his first quarter is down to 45%, which is actually kind of a record. It's the second lowest first quarter approval rating a president has had since before the Second World War, only being beaten by a 41% approval rating, which was achieved by Donald Trump the first time he was president. Nobody's ever done that. Now, once the tangible effects of this trade war start making themselves more obvious in the lives of everyday people, and that will happen, I think the Chinese people are gonna handle it a lot better than the American ones. Firstly, the Chinese government didn't start the trade war, so it's a lot easier for them to sell the idea that they're just defending themselves, which means negative effects endured may just cause the Chinese people to unify even more behind their government than to cause any kind of unrest. The American people are already in unrest. That's how this person got into office in the first place, by selling a dream of a grand return to former glory by making America great again. The thing is, the dream he's selling belongs in the past. It's incompatible with the world that actually exists. You can't revive the manufacturing economy of Christmas past by trying to build a brand new manufacturing infrastructure from scratch. For one, because China already has the infrastructure and the skill set to operate it. It would probably take you like more than a decade just to catch up. More importantly, by the time you catch up, that infrastructure will already be obsolete. The manufacturing of the future will be automated, which means the jobs that come with it will be low in number and demand high levels of skill and competence, which is not particularly good news for the skillfully challenged who dream of a return to the past. Which brings me to my last point, which is the future, and that China seem to actually want one of those. They're developing newer, safer forms of nuclear power, which, due to the rise of AI, it's quite obvious that nuclear energy is about to become increasingly much more significant. They're also on target to surpass their renewable energy goals 6 years ahead of schedule. They're on the cutting edge of tech, robotics, computing, energy, pretty much everything that's relevant relevant for the future. Another thing they're doing is investing in trade and infrastructure in a way that actually develops the developing world, as opposed to what the West have been doing for, well, centuries, frankly, which is deliberately prohibiting that part of the world from developing in order to gain access to cheaper resources. Now, are those deals exploitative in a way that benefits China and assures their future access to those resources? Absolutely. Are they infinitely better than what was there already? Yes, it's not even close. The thing is, this might be even more beneficial for China than simply the lopsided deals in their favor. See, not only will investing in their infrastructure leave these countries in China's debt, quite literally, but it will lead to better jobs in these countries, which will lead to economic growth, which will lead to revenue, which will lead to consumers. China, the world's manufacturer, is investing in creating new consumers, which kind of takes away the most powerful economic weapon the Americans have, being the world consumer, which was always inevitable anyway. This kind of lopsided, wasteful consumption fueled by never-ending debt was always living on borrowed time, or quite literally on borrowed money. See, if you're the world's producer, what's better than having one big customer buying most of the stuff? It's having lots and lots of customers buying the same amount of stuff, but more evenly distributed. See, that way you're no longer quite so dependent on feeding the biggest mouth in the world, which at the moment seems to be true in more ways than one.
Time goes by and yet I wonder, why do we put each other through hell? Why can't we just get over ourselves? I know I should. You cast your spell and I went under. I know the laughter and the pain. Will I ever love again? I don't know if I can take it anymore. Yeah, so I stay here and hold my heart when you walk out the door. Yeah.
Who received with Maria Ressa, co-founder and CEO of the Philippine independent news site Rappler, who received the Nobel Peace Prize in 2021 for her work defending free expression in the Philippines. Robert Kuttner.
Well, I'd like to get Maria Ressa to comment on what's happening in the U.S. as well. Of course, you have devoted your life to fighting for free expression in the Philippines, for which you were awarded a Nobel Peace Prize in 2021. So if you could talk first about your site, Rappler, the repeated attempts by the Duterte government to have you imprisoned, 10, I believe, arrest warrants issued against you, and how despite all of that, you kept Rappler running throughout.
Yeah, no, first, thank you for having me. But, let me just be a little bit more dire than Robert. I just came from Perugia, from the International Journalism Festival, where VDEM, which does kind of a rating of all democracies globally, right? Their latest report now says that 72% of the world is under autocratic rule. Like, we have elected illiberal leaders in 72% in these democracies around the world, right?
How do they classify the U.S.?
The U.S. is, so here's what he said. The head of VDEM publicly said that if the trends in America continue, that he expects democracy to die by the summer. Like, not just to wake you up, right? Like, literally. And actually, if we stop normalizing the death by 1,000 cuts of rule of law, you can see this happening, right? For the Turkish grad student picked up from the streets, from Tufts University, from all of the little things. We've talked here about the press. The press was attacked in the first Trump administration, right? Duterte echoed President Trump. President Trump echoed Duterte. Enemies of the people. That's what they both called us. But the point here is, we normalize new depths. Like, we should not be where we are, and yet that's where we are. And what are you seeing being created? At the early days, in the first month, I called it the Philippinization of American politics, but I think it's even worse, because what you're seeing, not many mainstream media covered the government pausing the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, right? Essentially telling Americans that it's okay to be corrupt because you need to be competitive. these are the ideals that are being broken down. So what are we seeing? We're seeing the creation of a kleptocracy. The last part here is, Robert talked about the internet, but these big tech companies, the broligarchy, who were there in the front row, right?
At his inauguration.
The design of social media, and this was a clip you ran in the tease at the beginning, it literally turns the incentive structure upside down, is on the side of a populist dictate, a dictator to be, right? Because why? In 2018, MIT said that lies spread 6 times faster. That was before Elon Musk bought Twitter and turned it to X and turned it into a human cesspool, even worse than it was in 2018. So if lies spread 6 times faster, and fear, anger, and hate, this is across the world. If you use fear, anger, and hate, it spreads and I put rabbit ears on information, the post spreads virally. Right? So there are more ways. Online violence is real world violence. The reason why 72% of the world today is now under authoritarian rule is partly because our public information ecosystem is corrupted. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Y'all know who it is. Y'all know the voice. Y'all know the sound. James Bubba Williams is in the building. Hey! Beep, 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 beep. Made my own sound effects. I don't need the noise maker or whatever. Good to see everybody this morning. Hope everyone is doing well. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. Like it or not, it's about to go down. I'm going to do a few shout outs real quick to everybody that's in the chat. Let's start from the top here. Charles, good morning to you. Sheila, blessing. Hey, Sheila. Meat Cakes, what's going on? Noisy Beast. Hey, Sammy, what's going on? Warren Entertainment, good morning to you. Boom, now I can hear. Tiger Castle, what's going on, Tiger? Amber, good morning. Amber, love you, mean it. Lunch break hot take, good morning. Bo Z, what's going on? Sue Life, what's happening? Tyler Hackner, happy belated birthday, Tyler. Sarah Layla, hey Sarah, good to see you. BB, hey BB, Hollywood 2000, what's going on? Shay Dragon, welcome Shay, good to see you. James, DJ Exclusive Williams in the chat. Hey James, DJ Exclusive Williams, how you doing? That's me, by the way. Let me see. Charlie, what's going on, Charlie? Good to see you. Sean Payne, and I think that's it. It's Sammy. Good morning to y'all, man. Hey, we got a great show for y'all today. Make sure that y'all stay tuned. I know I haven't been here, so it's good to see y'all. I'm here today. I'm going to make sure I'm in the building today. And here I am. Y'all like it or not, it's about to go down. Y'all stay tuned. Good morning, everybody. Here's some good music for you. Good morning.
Ancestors coming in North Carolina in the late 1600s into what would become Bertie County. I say that with an immense amount of pride, but to admit that I'm a 12th generation anything in this country means that I'm most likely the direct descendant of enslavers. In my case, I am. I'm the direct descendant of enslavers. And that's not an easy thing to say. But I grew up in a time where, that flag and that history was revered. And when I look back, I think it was the conflation of that flag with Southern identity. And it came to mean all of these other things. I grew up going to Leonard Skinner shows when they hit, Sweet Home Alabama and 100-foot by 50-foot Confederate flag dropped at the back of the stage and everybody went nuts, and my daddy was one of them. And then I grew up and I read books. And I think about someone like Alexander Stephens, and I'm assuming we all know who Alexander Stephens is, but if we don't, he was the vice president of the Confederacy. And when he was defining what that institution was, he said, its foundation rests, its cornerstone is laid upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, that slavery and subordination to the superior race is his natural and born condition. That's what the man said. That's what he said it defined. So I don't care about any kind of revisionist history that wishes to place it as something else, because it's not that. And I think about the black communities in Jackson County. I think about people who have descendants here who go back hundreds of years. And what every one of you who voted for that is saying is that you revere a moment in time when their ancestors were in bondage. That's what that means.
That was deep right there. Special shout out to my mama, y'all. Happy birthday, mama. Mom celebrated her 70th birthday on Thursday, May 1st. Mom turned 70 years old, y'all, on Thursday. So happy birthday, mama. We still celebrating you the whole week. We're doing a brunch tomorrow, and I cannot wait. And we are hosting it. So I cannot wait to see everybody again. But mom went out and had a good time. I'm going to send the video. David, I'm going to email you this video, okay? Until that time, then, here's some more music. And I'm sure David got another clip for us. David, run that clip while I get this video sent.
In the White House has been pretty much part and parcel of U.S. policy. We're facing now, for instance, Trump talking about taking back Panama. And in fact, there are actually more U.S. troops now in Panama. Quietly, the Panamanian government has allowed some of the old military bases to open up again as a result of the pressure from the Trump administration.
Yeah, and they'll soon be in Ecuador also. Ecuador is, vying to be a second El Salvador in the sense of a kind of security outpost. This is all in the context of, in a way, of losing Colombia. I don't know if they've lost Colombia permanently, but a left-wing Gustavo Petro was elected president, and he was an old insurgent, and Colombia kind of no longer serving as a kind of forecastle of U.S. power in the region, and the United States now constituting El Salvador and Ecuador as these kind of places in which they're projecting military power. I mean, the bigger question here is if the United States really has given up its role as superintending a global liberal order, and the world is reverting back to these kind of spheres of power competitions, then Latin America becomes centrally much more important to the United States as a source of resources, as a security perimeter.
The role of Guantanamo, because most Americans don't really grasp the fact that the United States is holding a military base in Cuba, really against the wishes of the Cuban government still after all of these years. What allows this to continue to occur?
Well, what allows it to continue to occur is just absolute raw power, the power of the United States. And the United States, when it took Cuba and it took Puerto Rico and the Philippines and Guam in 1898 in this war, Spanish war against Spain, it carved out Guantanamo as a military base, as a coaling station, and it had an end date, and I think that end date passed for the least. But once the Cuban Revolution happened in 1959, the U.S. ignored it and just kept Guantanamo and as its own kind of enclave within the revolutionary island. And of course, Latin America has long been a place in which the United States, as a growing empire, has used as a receptacle to cast off its unwanted or the people that it considered kind of outside the pale of belonging to the nation. Prior to the Civil War, many people thought that the United States could avert a war over slavery by basically sending all its free people of color to Latin America, to Central America, to Mexico, to Panama, to Haiti, as a way of lessening racial tensions that of course didn't happen. In the 1990s, Guantanamo became the place where the U.S. held refugee Haitians following that country's coup against Aristide in inhuman conditions. And then, of course, during the War on Terror, Guantanamo became synonymous with a war that legal categories could no longer kind of organize, right? So there was no term for these prisoners who didn't belong to any, or we weren't fighting their nations, we were fighting them. So it came up with enemy combatants, and Guantanamo became the place in which they were housed. So there's a long history of this, of course, and yes, it's on the island of Cuba, and the irony of that, since Cuba is one of the few countries that have long resisted U.S. militarism.
Okay, I'm still attempting to send this video, y'all. My phone is acting real ignorant today. But while we waiting, though, I got a dad joke for y'all. So, a friend of mine just got divorced, right? And he and his ex-wife split the house. He got the outside. He got the outside. Okay. Wait, I got one more. I have a pet tree now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like having a pet dog, but the bark is quieter. The bark is quiet. You know what? Y'all not ready for me. Y'all stay tuned, man. I'm going to get this clip sent. David is over here struggling. So y'all stay tuned, man. Hey, like it or not, it's about to go down. If anything, we'll get the clip shown a little bit later in the show, man, so I can see if I can get it sent over, y'all. Like it or not, it is about to go down. Good morning, everybody. Good to see y'all.
Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption, but I am now. These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace. They have to understand that we will fight their cruelty with every megaphone and microphone that we have. We must castigate them on the soapbox and then punish them at the ballot box.
Heated exchange with Rahm Emanuel. He said, we were good in the bathroom. And I said to him, the people that talk more than anybody else is MAGA. And breadcrumbs have led throughout the entire episode. It shows that Nancy Mace is myopically focused on trans issues. And then there's a whole right-wing media echo chamber that platforms, likes, retweets, regrams, all the stuff. And then our state, the state of Oklahoma, we have Ryan Walters, superintendent of school, and he wants to basically do away with public schools and make them Christian nationalist schools. Well, how can he do this? How do you get people to not want an objective education full of critical thinking and fact? You tell them that there is a radical trans agenda going on in the schools, and then they don't care about education anymore. You scare them. And this is why the Democrats cannot ever abandon this issue. It's tied to education. It's tied to the fear that they throw out that you can't get a job because of these trans people. And the Democrats have got to look in the fucking camera and say, the reason you can't have nice things and the reason you're paying more in taxes and all of this shit is not because of a trans person. It's because Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Tim Cook and Donald Trump and JD Vance are greedy motherfuckers. That's why you can't have nice things. And because we care about democracy and freedom for everybody, that includes the most marginalized people. And if the Democrats abandon that, they will lose, and they will continue to lose. And I'm not a political strategist. I'm just a podcaster, but I have never seen as many people upset about this issue as I have in the state of Oklahoma. Women that I play pickleball with, women that I play tennis with, they just see, because a lot of people, they're 1 to 2 degrees away from somebody who has a gay child or a gay grandchild or a non-binary or a trans member of their family. And as a parent, as a white parent, like I can just tell you my experience, when my kids' feelings have been hurt, and I feel like my heart's outside my body, and I want to do whatever I can do to make sure their feelings aren't hurt anymore. And that's why you see Black women, their heart's outside their body all the time. When they send their kid out into the streets, their heart is outside their body. And that's why 90% of them vote for the most marginalized people. And white women, it's 50-50 because the society's set up for white kids to be kind of taken care of. Right. Imagine having a trans fucking kid right now. And you have the woman who wrote Harry Potter wound up about trans issues, Bill Maher, the leaders of the Democratic Party saying, oh, we need to quit talking about it. Can you imagine the pain? I just remember the times that my boys have been rejected or bullied or something, how much that hurt me. And then pile that on that your government and your Congress people are picking on you to score political points so they don't have to pay taxes, and lying to you so they can not educate your kids properly. It's a moral shortcoming, and it makes me fucking sick, pumps. And it
1926, Carter G. Woodson gave us Black History Week. Now, almost 100 years later, many of us are still stuck in the month of February. But our legacy, it doesn't just fit into 28 days. The Black Heritage Day app is here to change all of that. It brings Black history to your fingertips every single day of the year. Based on years of research by Dr. Carl Mack, our historian, our griot, just 3 minutes a day, that's all it takes to read, learn, and listen to an oral narrative of your history.
Indeed, the Southern states went to war over the rights for each of the 11 Confederate states to own our ancestors.
To connect with your roots, to teach your children the truth they won't get in school.
In total, he is credited with 28 other inventions. But as a Black inventor, he struggled to gain.
Learn why New Year's Day was once considered the most dreaded day of the year.
Parents were separated from their children, siblings separated, and spouses separated from one another. And today, America has the nerve to lecture us about the status of the Black family.
Understand the political journey of Black America from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party.
It marked the beginning of Blacks' departure from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party. And here's why we switched.
Dive into culture and triumph like Sidney Poitier's blockbuster film success. And so much more. From heartbreak to triumph. From January 1st to December 31st. This app is more than a download. It's a movement. It's a community of Black families raising their kids on truth and on legacy. Download the Black Heritage Day app for free in the Google Play Store or on the Apple App Store. This isn't just an app. It is a daily celebration of who we are.
The work that we're doing here is not going to stop when it comes to these type of discussions. It's going to be for us and by us here on this platform when the media is telling us to look the other way. Your support is what helps us move forward. Join patreon.com/like it or not. Help us grow.
Like It or Not starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
And
Oh, there we
welcome
go.
to yep. Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
And not care who doesn't like it.
Hey, good morning, everybody. What's up with you guys? It's great to have Bubba back with our original good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm not gonna say that Ben wasn't doing it right.
I listen. I know my role. I know my lane. I'm not the good morning guy.
You say, Ben, you know where to stay at, right?
Listen, I fall back and speak when the time opportunes itself. I just lay in the cut.
No, and we respect it because the good morning is always missed. But Ben does it. Ben does it in the preacher voice.
That's right.
It's always missed.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's always missed from our beloved DJ. Bubba, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. It's good to see y'all, man. And real quick, happy birthday, Mama Gwen. She celebrated her 70th birthday on Thursday.
I seen that. Y'all done took her out.
Right. We did. Oh, I got the clip too. I wanted to show everybody the clip. And while she's in the chat room as well, too. David, if you have it ready, that is.
Happy birthday, Mama Gwen.
Because I saw her in the streets, honey.
Okay, in the streets. Rebecca.
Tequila shots.
The tequila shot took her out.
I said, excuse me. My Taurus.
She gonna get me for this too.
That's so cute. 70 where?
Okay.
Look at you doing it out there.
Y'all already know that's me.
It's her husband, like, oh, she about to take a shot.
Look, watch the face.
Hey, that wasn't a little shot either.
It wasn't.
And she got another drink on her plate. You see that?
Child, it's just dry ice. That's all it is.
You don't hear Bubba in the background? Oh, okay. Bump, 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 bump. He was everything. He was playing every role in the background.
For real.
Oh, man, I love it.
Happy birthday, Mama. Love you.
Both of you guys said that at the same time. AI? Was that AI? Was that AI? Okay. That was very strange.
It was.
It was same cadence, same words, same time.
Same bald heads, same headphones. But we certainly don't have the same beard.
It's coming in, Ben. It's getting there.
It's been coming in for 30 years. It ain't going nowhere else.
Then your beard is here. You just cut it down. We see that.
Yeah,
right.
I remember when it was connecting the dots. We are not there anymore. Because he was still in his 30s at the time. So he said he wanted to do because men when they hit like mid 30s, I think when I met Ben, he was the age that I am now.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was in the phase where like, oh, I'm trying to grow my beard out. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Bald, about to do the beard thing. Because Ben still had hair when I met him. He
barely.
He was still putting,
it was hanging on for dear life.
So Ben was like,
please, sir, could I have some more?
And then he was like, tell me, so there's this thing I do, people don't know this. And Ben,
wait a minute.
I'm not telling them. But he said, he told me too. But now you don't even have to do that no more. Ben.
Oh, wait, Rebecca.
That's what I told you. Like you
know how many black men I put up on that game? I done put a lot of black men up on that game. There's a little something you get from your wife, and you just
let me tell you how I've been in a couple of men's homes, and I've seen those tools too. I've seen those same tools, and I said,
"Oh my goodness!"
But yours wasn't. Let me be clear. I'm not talking about Beijing. Ben didn't do that. I ain't
no, it wasn't
that.
Beijing. No, it was a little more creative. That and
it was affordable.
Walmart special, $4.99.
And don't get me wrong, when I was working in studio, mind you, we were working in studio at the time. When I was working in studio at the local news station, you would love to see what these other people were doing. They were doing a lot of things. But I said to say, Ben, no, your beard is actually.
I used to use it up here too. Let me just fill in that little gap right there.
Your beard is actually perfect. Now, for me, my secret is I gotta make sure.
Rebecca,
one time Ben was like, "You got a mustache."
Rebecca.
Hey, her mustache was mustaching more than my mustache.
It was the time, right?
Oh, God.
I didn't ask God to make me hairy, but I knew that while me being on camera, I got to maintain it. And the way you got to maintain it, like sensitive skin maintenance, all the things to me. And then I got a beauty mark right here. I know people think that I draw that on. That's something I was. This is
that's a mole, right?
That's literally a beauty mark. It's Can't take it off. So people look straight there. They look straight there. And sometimes it was given, you know, arriba. It was given all of that right up in there.
We started off on 10. Hey.
Oh my gosh.
You just gotta,
Look, that's why
gotta
I'll say this. I give y'all a little secret. That's why I love this camera, because if I turn to the side, actually it's the other side. You can't see it, but that's good. But there's a plug right here in my beard that nobody ever knows about. It just looks so full on camera, but in reality, it's just like, let me pick that out a little bit. Let me get like some hair extensions and plug them in some. But yeah.
Not you just told them the secret.
I did. Y'all had told y'all secrets. I had to give y'all.
To figure out, so how you do that?
Look, let me tell you something. There are many secrets of the male persuasion that I've had to learn much later in life than I should have learned. Somebody should have told me this stuff when I was like 21. So, but that's for another show. That's for a men's only show. And I can't go underneath it's not past the bin during that show. So we'll get back to it.
Shout out to they need to definitely shout out to Skin-Timent, because that's what I gotta use. The Skin-Timent, sensitive skin, it keeps me good. All right, because I'm in the age where then you start to get the three fold down here, right up here. And you gotta listen. I be at the light, I be looking over, and it be a lady that be like this. When you see her doing this, she ain't thinking. She trying to find a piece of hell.
Oh man,
she's trying to find a piece of hell inside. Anyways, good morning, y'all. How are y'all doing? Listen, this morning we just starting with it. We just getting right into it. Regardless, we are all beautiful people with our flaws, however, my skin is still beautiful. One thing about it, God just gave me beautiful skin, and I'm grateful for that. David, that's crazy. That's crazy. But yes, God did give me beautiful skin. But anywho, y'all, what is on? There's so many things on, and I know that we discussed Shedeur the other day. I can't remember what I said I wanted to go into for today. Ben, there was something that I said I wanted to go into, but
so you can't ask me about 4 days ago. You could barely ask me about 4 hours ago.
There's so much that has already happened. But before I get there, did you guys get a chance to go see Sinners?
Twice.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Because
AMC membership. Three free movies a week, child, and 2 of them were Sinners. So when I tell
you, three free movies a week,
$25 a month, Becca, that's all you pay. And any movie theater in the country, as long as it's AMC, you can see 3 movies for free, $25 a month. Because at that point, what the price that you pay for a regular ticket, unless you're going like on a Tuesday or
that's
like
2 movies.
A matinee,
that's
2 movies right there. Because hell, seeing in IMAX is $30 for a single ticket. Yeah, so I'll send you a referral link so I can get some.
Get some kickback.
I was like, because it gives you back, so you get something for that. Well, once I can afford it, then we can afford to go to the movies 3 times. $25 is crazy.
Right.
$25 is crazy because I don't even go to the movies that much. I heard somebody knows a link to a link that people could watch, and I actually have been one of those people who have benefited from links.
Send me that link.
I got a website for y'all.
The small X in the corner, because that'll send you somewhere else. But once you get back and reload, you back on it. I'm just saying that I heard that.
Look, I'm sharing something with y'all right now in our chat that y'all can go see whatever you want.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We'll check it out.
Just look that up.
Yeah. Always find a way. Okay.
So look, I was the bootleg man back in the day, so I got
you too.
Man, what man?
Look,
my dad used to sell them at his job.
I used to make so much money off of Medea.
Yes,
but before Medea, it was Medea. I helped Medea get famous.
Bro, Tyler Perry owe us money, bro.
Owe us. We spread Medea through the black church like crack spread through the.
That's how Medea got. No, listen, we would even the Haitian, the black church, literally the black, just every type of black was watching Medea.
Oh,
okay,
no, for real.
We were doing like movie nights. No more.
Oh my goodness.
No more movies about the end of times or what's the thing when Jesus coming back to get us? And the trumpet sound. Left Behind.
Left
No
Behind.
more Left Behinds. We were watching Medea. We were literally watching Medea. And I know for sure that we packed the movie theaters out. It was 1 year. This is when they even didn't have like any type of ordinance. They didn't have anything. We went to the movie theater and people were sitting on the steps at the movie theater during the Medea movie.
Yes. And that's only because we sold so many copies of the stage play, right? We went out there and spread. We were his distribution arm. He didn't need the money from us, and so we helped you, Tyler Perry. That's all right, man. God bless you. You're a billionaire now. We don't even
billionaire.
Won't even know that brother for somebody else. We ain't seen him so long. He just be in the movie theaters or in the movie studio. Don't even come out in public no more. Don't go to churches no more. He's just in the studio all day.
No more churches.
And we help build.
You know what's so crazy? Like, so I got a question for you, Ben. With that being said, like, help me understand, because I guess I have my own personal thoughts on that. Because the church helped build him up. Does he owe it to the church to stay in the church like content?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he owes the church anything. I think as a black man, he can decide what level. Now we have our standard of our contribution back to the black community. But that's his prerogative. So, but I don't think he expressly owes the black church anything at all. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Tyler Perry at one point, that's all the movies when they came out in the stage plays had something church related in it. Then finally, when he got the studio, it moved way away from church because Jesus Christ.
Now I'm not gonna lie. Listen, he does have this one show out that I genuinely appreciate.
The Black,
the young. What is the boy's name? Young Dylan.
Young Dylan. Yeah,
Young Dylan.
That is a good one.
Really.
Where's that? Where's that being?
It's on
Nickelodeon, right?
Yeah, Nickelodeon. Young Dylan on Nickelodeon. It's okay.
I didn't even know about that.
It's kind of like, it's a step up. I think the production is great. The storylines are. It's It's a perfect place for Tyler Perry's writings. And why am I saying this when I know I'm going to want to use the studio one day? But Nickelodeon is a perfect place for Tyler Perry styled writing because it doesn't have to be particularly deep or particularly spectacular.
It's called Lil Dylan.
Young Dylan.
Okay, so it's a Lil Bill. It's like Lil Bill, but Young Dylan.
But it's live action. They have Cole from Martin on there. It's
wow.
It's
really
a show that I literally.
It's like Raven, like the like.
It's a little bit like Raven in culturally. It's a little bit like that, but it's I don't know. It's really good content that you could cut on and leave your kids there and not worry about them drifting off into like hypersexual stuff. Like there's so many shows that you just put on and next thing you know, everybody's kissing somewhere, everybody's making out. It's like, come on, it's Nickelodeon. So it's cool in that way. And it's a positive message. Yeah.
Rebecca, let's say, that was it that girl Lele?
Yes.
Oh, I never
that type of show.
Yeah, I never seen him.
I want to say along the lines of that, but like I said, Tyler Perry with black actors, I haven't watched it, but I've seen clips and it seems to be very, very good.
It is good. It is good.
Yeah.
And I suspect so since we're talking about shows, there's a show that y'all have to watch. I think you're gonna love it, called The Residents. It is.
Ben, I was just talking about this yesterday night, in which I finished it. Yeah, I literally just threaded about this. I said, "My goodness, what a great body of work!"
Come on,
and messaging behind it.
Yes,
still left me with questions, but the main messaging, especially in this climate, was perfect. And I don't want to give too much away, but you got to watch it. Uzo Aduba is the one that played. You guys might know her as Crazy from Orange is the New Black.
That's where I know her from. I kept trying to figure out where I know her from. Okay.
Yes, seeing her develop and be how she is right now, but I've always knew she was a brilliant actor. But seeing her in this way, especially as a new mom and all this other stuff that's going on in her personal life, but she captivated that character. And I know that character was not written for an actual Uzo in real life, because this is based off of a book, right? from a journalist, author, CNN analyst or contributor. I forget her name, but this is based off the book. The book has other, like when I was reading over the summary of the book and I read a few pages online, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. But the way our good black sis, that sometimes I don't like some of the things that she do, because it'd be like, do it gotta be white and black all the time, Shonda? But Shonda, Miss Shonda,
woo,
she ate that
she
up.
did her thing. She did her thing on that
She
show
ate-
there.
I
need to go
could watch
finish
it again, and it was so good.
Let
It was
me
so good.
Let me tell you something. The way they entangled all those different characters and all those different narratives and all those different possibilities and all the drama and all the nuances, and there the main character was just like, it's like, and I laughed about it because, oh Lord, I'm gonna say this live on air. I was laughing with my wife about it. I say, you see how her synapses are firing? You see how her brain is firing? I said, that's what it's like when you get high. Your brain just be just connecting all the dots. And there she was, not high at all. She was just there, just killing.
She
it.
was
Boom, boom,
bird
boom,
high.
boom, boom, boom. Oh, she was.
She was too high, Rebecca.
She was bird
She's
high.
a bird,
Bird
a bird, not a
Because I
not a bird
too
hunter.
am a person. I don't watch birds like her, but I feel like I'm becoming a bird lady. And I
Really?
was like, I see what she says when you actually see the birds, but she was able to put them together and then correlate them with the different presidents from the past and all this other stuff.
They got Belky from Perfect Strangers is on there. I love.
Oh, wow.
That's way back.
Susan from what's the
There
other
she is.
the show called with
I love her.
Sterling K. Brown. What's that?
Paradise.
No, she's not on Paradise.
This Is Us.
This Is Us.
Oh, This Is Us. Okay.
Ain't she from This Is Us? Is she from This Is Us, right?
Did you got me on that one? But I just know that
She's the
Sterling,
wife.
yeah.
I could be making this up. Yeah, she's the wife.
Oh, she is. That's
Yeah.
right, Rebecca. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, see, only reason I mentioned it, only reason I brought up The Residence, besides it being great and everybody should absolutely go see it, was my guess was that they used Tyler Perry's White House, because Tyler Perry has a full-blown White House on his set. But no, they built this from scratch.
Right, Ben. I thought it was his studio
Your
as well,
camera.
because somebody else said that as well. Yeah, I'm about to hit the battery now.
Oh, this was done so well. I would watch it again and again. Yeah,
Me too. It was so beautiful.
yeah.
Where did I wanted to know where Bubba was gonna say he thought where it was from. I think the production was amazing.
Yes.
The acting was phenomenal.
The coloring, the set, the
oh my
quality of the
God.
set, the lighting,
The
was
messaging, like I'm still questioning, because it was a murder mystery. I'm still questioning some things, but so good.
and the love story that was really
the love story.
The love story that they put in there really quick. But my God, I'm like,
But how we got an immigration story right in this mess.
Immigration story, a love story, a
story about racism, story about
yes.
how the White House was built off the backs of black people, and it doesn't function without black people. I got that messaging too, Ben. I did.
Yeah. No, y'all for real. Go watch The Residence. If you need a password to Netflix, let me know.
I think I still got yours hooked up to my computer. Man.
I'm terrible.
Listen,
I can't stand y'all.
I have been practice, that's what we call it with my comrades, praxis. I have been practicing collectivism for a very long time with Netflix. I think I got 30 people.
So it was Tyler Perry. It looks just like it. That was Tyler Perry.
Was it Tyler Perry's?
It looked just like it.
Because he built almost.
Oh, it wasn't. He said it wasn't. Okay, I guess that's what the White House really looks like then.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense too, right?
Yeah, I guess the White House does have a look. But yeah, that was a phenomenal show. Another show that I would big up recently, and what was the dang on show called that I'm watching? Oh, it's called Beyond the Gates. Now, this is not anything that is it's actually a daytime soap opera that's all black. And it is I talked about it last year coming out, and wow, when I can say that this is what you call soap opera, and they are literally, and soap operas, if you guys know why it's called soap operas, is because people used to utilize that time, I think, in radio or television to sell soaps. So they would do these type of commercials or these types of shows, and this is why this became called the soap opera. And they are literally on there like, it's so crazy. This room smells amazing, Febreze.
What the hell?
Or if you like, they in the bed like, you cannot talk to him anymore. Oops, I dropped this on the floor. Babe, you know I got you. You know I can't go anywhere without the Tide. It's crazy. And the Tide will be like right here. I said, oh, they bringing it real back. They bringing it back. But my goodness, the blackness, the
What's it called
lighting of
again?
black. It's called Beyond the Gates. You got to get past the first 2 episodes and you're
Okay.
rolling from there. It's called Beyond the Gates, y'all. And look at how the people are beautiful, and they are
beautiful black
lighting
people.
them. Their hair, their clothes, the styling. They got their own little town, their own little drama. The minorities are the whites. It is so lovely to see. Like, I love it. I love it. Of course, the soap opera is drama.
And you're saying they do product placements like Without Shame. This was like
Absolutely, because it's
I
a
love
soap
it.
opera, and I think that they deserve too. I
Yeah.
feel like it's
Look at
amazing.
Clifton Davis.
Hey,
Look
Clifton
at him.
Davis, right?
Yeah.
Turn on the lights from heaven, Lord. Shine
him.
on me.
Wow.
Paul Cheeks Dupree. What kind of name?
A soap opera name.
That's
It
so
gives
it
me
It's so
like
much
Dynasty.
blackness in the show in every way. There's drama, but it gives you the same as a soap opera, but predominantly black. And it like you're gonna find yourself yelling at the screen every day at 2 p.m. And why not? Because we had that back in the day, but predominantly white things. And I'm not saying that. No, I am saying that we needed something that was representative of black people. And I think this was perfect. This was perfect. Like literally, you can't get in the club if you're white. All the white people you're uncomfortable with when you're watching it. They make sure that you're uncomfortable with the white characters inside of it. Like, oh my God, this white heifer. I hate to say that, but that's how you feel watching it. Like, it's so good. It's so good. And all of them are beautiful people. They are so beautiful. So yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
a good way to
remember-
start Saturday morning. I'm sorry, James. Go
Right.
ahead.
Oh no, I was about to say because I remember the last soap opera I used to watch was Days of Our Lives. Mom and Dad used to be glued to the TV watching it, so I came up on that. So to see an all black soap opera on TV now, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm
the one I
definitely gonna
came
watch
up
that.
on was the one I came. I remember Days of Our Lives, but that wasn't my time. So when I came up on it, in the summers, I would go to my nenen's. That's my aunt. I would go to my nenen's house, and she doesn't speak no English, but she knew exactly everything that they were saying in the soap operas, all because of how they were moving. That's the beauty of a soap opera, how they literally are so theatric, long drawn out pauses for you to process what was just done or said. The commercial comes out, and then the commercial comes up, and then they come back from the commercial, they're repeating the last line that they said before the commercial, and it's like you never forgot where you were. But mine was Passions. Okay, breathe in, breathe out. 2 p.m. You are the fire burning inside of me. You are my passion for life. Little Timmy. Little Timmy.
Mine was Young and the Restless.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Young and the Restless. I got when I was growing up, my brother left off to college, my dad was going to work, and my mom and sisters were home during the summer. I was forced to watch because we didn't have but 1.5 TV back then, a TV in the main room, a TV in my mama room, right? So if you want to watch TV, you go watch what everybody else was watching. And that was at the same time. I'm gonna show you how old I am. Y'all remember Paula Abdul?
Yes.
Paula Abdul's hit Rush Her. That was the same time I was forced to watch Young and the Restless. I'm an old man.
Paula was in that.
No, she wasn't in Young and the Restless.
Oh.
It was just in between, like my sisters would turn it to MTV, and there was Paula Abdul and Keanu Reeves on that Rush video. And then they had to turn it back in time because my mama wanted to watch Young and the Restless.
Wow, what a time. They preempted look, me. I was like, that's anti-black. They preempted it's just what they do. But they preempted Beyond the Gates these last 2 episodes before this past one, but these last 2 episodes for the football for sports, for what was happening surrounding the football draft and all this other stuff. And I was like, now this is the perfect time to put this on television so that people can get a break from seeing Black people be told that they are too, that they need to be humbled, they need to be this, or they need to be that. This will be a perfect time to see Black people being celebrated and all of their great. I know it is a soap opera, so there is drama, but just to see something to give us a break. But they were like, nope, we're going to keep Black people in a whirlwind. Right? About Shedeur. We're going to keep Black people in a whirlwind about who deserves what and what deserves who, and putting Black people in line. I think that's one of the things, man, that I got throughout this week is that Black people in this country have been conditioned. Sometimes they're unaware of it, but conditioned to believe that we can only be good enough for whatever the white people want.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was just telling you guys a story the other day. I was feeling a little down. And I was like, let me just, grab a little dollar or two and sit by the bar just to get out the house. And I was sitting there and a white couple came by me and they were like, oh, wow. Like they were looking at my nails first. And then when they heard me talking, I guess it didn't match. And then I picked up a phone call and I was speaking another language and they were really staring at me at that point. And the man was like, so you like, to eat the oysters? How are the oysters? And in my mind, I'm like, affordable. They're affordable. But I didn't say that. I was like, they're actually really good. They're really good. And I continued on my business. He was like, wow, I never really see people eat the oysters. I said, well, I'm always going to eat them cooked because I see how y'all eat them. I just made some oysters yesterday, but it's so good too. You can get them for $1 each on Fridays at Whole Foods. But anyway, so I say that to say they were just, I was watching them talk to me, and it was almost as if I was getting all the feelings of what I felt this week when I saw how people were talking to Shedeur about Shedeur. And even going historically back to his dad, as I sat here with these white people, they were wondering like why I was around this restaurant. I said, because it's a Black-owned restaurant. I'm here because it's a Black-owned restaurant. Y'all might be here, but this is a Black-owned restaurant. I'm here to support it. They're like, oh yeah, because it might be far out from where you live. I don't live far from here. Really? Really? I'm like, yes, really. So then they began to talk some more. And they were like, before it became a place where, diversity came in. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, now see, I just sat here and wanted to eat my damn oysters. And here y'all go. And I found myself at one point during the conversation, if I can be frank, if I can be honest, I found myself in that conversation actually because the questions they were asking me. Why do you live here? How did you get to live here? Before it was diverse, me and my wife moved here and we were unmarried. They thought that was the bit, like they wanted to compare that to me being Black in a predominantly white city. Me and my wife were unmarried.
They were living together and not married.
Oh yeah, so like, wow, like you're talking about you being Black here. I was unmarried when I moved with my wife here.
The challenges we had.
That's what it was giving. And then I was just like, because I didn't want to cause drama at this Black establishment at the bar with some white folks. Okay. So they were like, well, we did pretty great for ourselves, right? They just telling me, I don't know how you got here, but we did pretty great for ourselves. Me and my wife, we got here when I married her 17. I was actually 19. She was 17. And then we just kind of made a family. The one thing with us, we're just so good at is communication. Got a daughter. My daughter, she's in finances. She did a really good job. She went to college out here, and right out of college, she got a great job. How old are you? And I said, well, I'm 34. I'm about to be 35. Oh, she is too, but she has a really great job. And I just stared at him. He said, well, what do you do? And I said, I'm a journalist. I work in politics. So you say everything that Fox News tells you to say, huh?
How?
Okay. Ooh, Becca.
This was my conversation at the bar with these whites.
I think they were trying to recruit you.
And it was, but then they said, come on. Like, are you seriously going to say what's on your mind? I said, you know what's so funny? I'm a millennial. I am Haitian. I'm Black. I'm a woman. I I've already worked for the
tried
local.
you.
I said I've already worked for local news stations, local radio, and now I got the benefit of doing this. After doing this for over a decade, I get the benefit of doing it on my own terms. Like, they don't got to know that we out here struggling. It's
Right,
also
right.
the benefit of doing it on my own terms. I've worked alongside, and this is facts, some of the most biggest names, great people. I'm blessed to have my own show that is all Black. And shouts out to my producer who white, but that is all Black. Yeah. I was telling him, I'm like, and he's like, oh, really? So does it pay? Does it, like, it was just like all of this stuff. And he's like, so you don't really care. Like, I know you see what's going on and all they're doing, but is it that, like, you you're not like the rest of them? Like, you don't seem like, and I just was like, check, please. Check, because I felt like at that point I said check, please, so that I didn't offend them, though. Because I could have sat there and ate my food. I could have sat there and did all of that, but I just was like, dang.
You inconvenience
People want
yourself.
they want to humble me here because I'm telling them what I do, and it's not what they assume that I did. I'm living in a place where they don't assume I can live, when in all actuality, this is a more affordable area to live than it is in the city of Atlanta. All of these things, right? And I just found myself, I said, Lord, when I left there, I said, Lord, forgive me. Because in that moment, these people tried to humble me. And I was almost going to walk in that, like, just walk with that. Like, yeah. And I, God don't, and I said, God, forgive me. Don't ever let me do that again. I've worked so hard in my life. Don't ever let these people come and try to humble me. Because imagine, right? This is what other people would think about me too. These people came here. This is not everybody's story. Imagine if you ask a room full of Black people, when did your parents get to this area? What caused them to come to this area? When they had kids straight out of school, especially millennial children, were they able to just find a job in the recession? Were they able to find a job right after? Were they blessed enough to just have a job lined up for them, where they can just move up the street from you in a mini mansion, afford to just get that as well, and have a wedding and have children and have all these things. You ask a room full of Black people, and time again, we are made to be humble. We are told that we can't get these things. And if we do live in these cities, they will question, why are you here? How did you get here? I always tell you guys, when I first moved here, which my rent was $1,000 less at that time, the guy that came to put in my the AT&T guy came to put in my internet, and he kept saying, this is old. He told me, no offense, this is old white money. He was a white man, an older white man. This is old white money, this area. How did you make it over here? No offense. Like, what do you do in your career? And it's like, I don't like that. I don't like that people question when they see Black people with anything good, anything nice, any type of ways about them where they are confident about their strengths and they're confident about what they do. I don't need to tell this white man that I'm out here doing something that I love and working hard, greatest of the greats, but not making as much as I should to maintain, things. About, I don't need to tell a white man that. I'm confident in my work. I'm confident in what I do. I'm confident in the people that we touch every single time we turn on these cameras. But they can't wait to hear. If I would have said, it doesn't make much. Aha! Yeah. It doesn't make. It's that type of vibe that they try to give. And as soon as people like Shedeur would have said something along the lines of, I just should have kept my mouth shut and maybe just, maybe I shouldn't have been like my father was, and maybe I was given those type. No, you are great at what you do. You are a talented person, and they will always try to humble you, so much so. And you guys will see this in the conversation that we have on Olay and Friends on Sunday. But so much so, they made money off of that moment. They made sure to hold you in the. I don't know nothing about throwing the football. I don't like that contact sport. I don't like any of it, because even when they identified an issue with what CTE on mostly the Black players, because it's mostly a Black players sport, when they tried to push out the fact that CTE was messing with these people, medically, physically, mentally, that bothered me in itself. So football can KMA. However, learning and knowing that what they try to do to these men, how they try to belittle them, how they try to make it seem like, they don't deserve, they can't talk. This is that shut up and dribble conversation. If it was really that simple, we had somebody who silently protested. His name was Colin Kaepernick. Ben, we were working. We talked about this the other day. We were working when this thing was unfolding under the Donald Trump first administration. We woke up one day and this man kneeled, and the rest of his life would forever be changed. They took away something from him to humble him. We had actual quotes about putting your boys in line from Donald Trump to the NFL. Called him and the other people who kneeled silently protesting. There was no kind of physical abuse or anything. It was silently protesting, and all he did was take a knee. All he did was take a knee and put his fist up. And he called him a son of a bee. And that's, to me, disrespect in itself. Shedeur, and I don't think we are talking about this enough, because they say, oh, the pranks often happen. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. But we should be able to talk about why they shouldn't happen, especially to Black children who are already being the center of attention, right? In the middle of this whole thing, they made sure that he was drafted. They made sure that we would tune in. They made sure that they preempted the television for us to tune in every single time. And each time an ad played, and each time something that we watched played, anticipating to see when he would be drafted, they made a coin off that Black baby. They made a coin off that Black baby.
They did.
And because he's talented, guys, it's not just somebody who's out there not knowing what he's doing. He does more than throw a football. Because he's talented and because he's confident like his father. He might be arrogant, and so what? There's some levels of all of that for all of us, but white people can do it every single day in everything they do. And because this Black boy came in knowing that he's the best, knowing that he's one of the greatest, knowing that he's about to be number one at some point, humble him right now. And let's give them a slap on the wrist when the white baby calls him on the phone during a prank call, knowing what he's waiting for, and make more TV out of it. Literally premeditated, posted it, and then had the nerve to apologize. This child took this information from his Atlanta Falcons coordinator daddy's iPad. Took the number that didn't even belong to him personally, but basically was given to him by Boost for this particular draft call. And that white son of the coordinator had it. Him and his friend posted the prank call. After posting it and after the backlash, after finding out, after a quick investigation, after a fine of $150, I believe, to the coordinator and $250 to the Atlanta Falcons themselves,
$250,000.
They would make sure that this wouldn't happen again. And as I was saying to Ben the other day, that's a slap on the wrist for them. Those white people, the coordinators.
Well, I was thinking about how much coordinators actually make, and they make a bag. They make a bag, but that $100,000 gonna hurt. I know
that's a white man who's a coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. I can tell you, it didn't stress him at all.
$250K.
Speaking of money, not to change the subject, but I think it kind of goes along with it. Y'all see this white lady who made $500,000 for calling somebody the N-word?
Excuse me?
Oh.
Excuse my Black.
Yeah, no. There's a white lady who just got, not even, I said a Black man, I'm sorry, it was a 5-year-old. She called a 5-year-old the N-word on video. David, go grab all that for me. And these white Christian devils raised her $500,000, and it was so bad in the comment section of the GoFundMe account. It's not GoFundMe, but it's like GoFundMe, right? It was so bad that the owner of the company had to come out and say, we're going to we're going to remove all of the comments in the comment section because these white Christian devils were in there, right? Putting up SWAT stickers and saying, here's $2,000. They started, they were spelling out the N-word, one person at a time, $2,000 a pop. Somebody spell an N, they got $2,000. Somebody spell an I, they got $2,000. Somebody spell an E, gave $2,000. These devils are gone wild. Seriously, no joke. It's happening in real time. Here it is. Watch the video. Here we go. Watch this video.
Do you call him a child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say. Nobody digging to you. That little kid, you call him the little child? Are you about to hit him?
Wow.
Here? He took my son's stuff. So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and the N-word. If that's what he's gonna act. That's like. What you're gonna call him. That's what he's gonna act like. You know that's a hate speech, and you can be that. I don't give a. Huh. Okay, we'll see about that. What the internet has to say about you.
But you know what? If this a
GoFundMe
or whatever it is that they raise it on, but the way this country is, it doesn't surprise me. It don't surprise me at all that these people are paying that much money just to say that N-word.
No, she's there. She has become the embodiment of all of their racist hatred and their tribalism. Like this is she's like a temporary. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is temporary. They're gonna throw her out with the trash, right? So as soon as she's no longer useful to them, they'll move on. But right now, today, she is their white goddess for whom they all must sacrifice $2,000 a pop. They are out there giving this woman all of their money. And it's so bad that every black MAGA that I have come across so far, they're like, wait a minute, what's going on? Why are y'all all saying the N-word? And I'm like, you dummies. It was worth it to me, Rebecca. It was worth it to me to see that lady get $500,000 just to see how many black MAGAs are finally like, wait a minute, something's wrong. Yeah, you morons, you've been in league with these fascist, racist, white Christian devils the whole time.
So they're saying the family of the 5-year-old has a GoFundMe now. And I saw that the white chick changed the amount of her or whatever it is to $1 million.
Yes. Once she saw she made $250,000, she said, well, hell, let me see if I can make $1 million. And these white boys across this country, I'm sure some white women in there too, but they're like, please take my money, my David Duke white woman. Like it's amazing.
I'm really pissed off about it. Like it's really
for real.
I think I seen this video a while back, but I did not know. And I didn't see the video. I saw the story and I did not know, first of all, that she raised money for her racism to a 5-year-old.
Her safety. She felt unsafe.
I'm really upset about this. Like, I don't know what it's making me feel inside, but I can imagine my child who may be 5, who may be a 5-year-old going over to a little boy, snatching something from his hand. I handle that. I handle my child. As a mother, you come over to me and I will handle mine. You don't call she wouldn't have any teeth, but then that person that would, if I were beating on her or whooped her ass, sorry, Lord, that day, dragged her about mine, I would be the one in jail. I would be going in jail. And I'm pretty sure a GoFundMe would have been shut down. The funds would have been questioned. The funds would have been already reported. But here we are in today's day and age. And this woman raised enough money to live her life like it's golden just because she called a 5-year-old the N-word more than one time.
Listen, she's people like this, she's going to crash out with that, buddy. It's going to go to meth. It's going to go to crack. It's going to go through everything. She's going to get a BBL. This is not going to end well for her. I don't care how much money she gets in this moment, because money and ignorance goes really, really fast. But it is enough to make you upset. And I can't tell you all how to feel, but I don't feel upset about this. I feel a level of clarity confirmed. We've known this about America. We've known this about the particular subset of white folks who have nothing more in them but the deeply rooted desire. They want to express their racism at the highest level. These are the same people, if they could do another Tulsa race massacre, they would.
Yep.
But a lot of them are morbidly obese and can't even get out of their couch to come and do anything. So there's not, you don't have to worry about too many of them. Some of them we do, but not too many of them. But what I'm saying is like, this should just serve as confirmation for us that what Tupac said, right? You know, you kill a black man, you become a hero. But in this case, you call a 5-year-old an N-word, you become a millionaire.
Hey,
and that's why there's sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, I'm sure she's already doxxed on the internet. I hope they have done their worst for her too. I don't wish harm on nobody, but I just I hope they do.
Do you see how they built up Kyle Rittenhouse? Do you see that? These are these people long for these viral moments to change their lives and for them to be on the evil side and be protected by evil. They long for these moments. We watched where a woman tried to do it on Twitter and she ended up failing because they saw that somewhere along the lines she was pro LGBTQIA plus and she looked kind of black. Somewhere in there, her kids look kind of African American. We watched literally how she lost her job, all of that, and the rights, the conservatives were about to adopt her. And then they was like, hold on, let's go through her tweets. And they saw, oh, she was pro LGBTQIA plus at some point. Is that a Black Lives Matter hashtag somewhere in there from 7 years ago? And they saw that and they decided, no, she doesn't deserve. So this white lady didn't know that her life would change from her being racist. In America, people want to keep saying, why make this about race? I see that often now on threads. Oh, great, make this about race. Yeah, great. Like again, every single time until something is done about it. Y'all don't roll back so much in this dang country. I'm gonna keep talking about race until something is done beyond what y'all took as well, beyond what y'all took from us recently. I ain't even talking about 400 odd years ago. All the things that have been rolled back have been about race, and even when it's not about race, they make it about race. Immigrants in this country should not be about race. But they made the black immigrants the ones that are the face of the abuse, the threats, the inhumane behavior. We see DEI. DEI is more than about black folks, but they make sure they let you know that when we're saying DEI, we really are talking about the hard ER. We're talking about black people. In totality. They're doing it within everything. Within the defense, military. We're seeing that they're finding ways to remove black people. We're looking at in our history. Not only were they banning books years and years ago, now they're doing it where they are whitewashing the history, saying that we cooperated and da-da-da-da. Remember we talked about with Harriet Tubman. Some of this is the only black history that we have that America has even shared with us. Now they're trying to really whitewash it. Make stories up for us to say, white people were always our allies. And white people did this. And some white people died. Like the white people that Kyle Rittenhouse murdered. For being our allies.
Hello.
So this, what they're trying to do, everything is literally about race in this country. And you think black people want it to be? We don't. We had to segregate ourselves and create our own. And then when we did that, they were like, no, bring it back into the store. We got you. And then when we did that, they saw that that was actually a problem when they support black people, because black people are not a monolith. We too are part of the LGBTQIA plus community.
Hello.
We too are athletes. We too are people who work in businesses. We too are all of the things. We too are immigrants. All of the things. But yet, every other group that might be a minority group, we can talk to them. And when we talk to them as a black person, being also a part of that minority group as a minority, it's always something that is such a difference in how they're being handled. I see a lot of times in one of the blackest cities, I see a lot of times in one of the blackest cities in Georgia, right? Atlanta. There's a place that's supposed to be predominantly for the LGBTQIA plus in Midtown. And every time I go there, I do not see majority black LGBTQIA plus people living in Midtown. These people that are running it are white people. They say race plays a part in all these things. It does. It does. We played a video, I think on the leftist mafia, of a man who voted for, I want to say it's Mace, the woman,
Nancy Mace.
Nancy Mace, and somebody ran up on her, didn't run up on her, walked up on her. A person that was a part of the LGBTQIA plus community, but never made that known verbally to her, and said to her, "I voted for you. So when are you going to start showing up?"
Oh yes, in the store. Yes, yes.
In the store.
And she was like, "Oh my God, he attacked me."
And look, y'all ain't even listen. I be thinking to myself, sir, just because you're white and maybe you come from a conservative household, you are part of the group that they hate, that they're literally putting a target on, that they are literally treating as such. Why are you voting for this? Is it because you're white only? Like, I want to know. I want to know. Time and time again, we will see everyone try to act like these things are not happening to us. They'll throw us a bone and say, but we gave them scraps in 2020. What are they asking for now? A basic living wage to be able to do work the same way other people do work. Equality, not be at the job as the black person holding down the whole thing, working all kinds of jobs, afraid to say something because you'll lose your job first if you don't walk in line. So that's my spiel. Everything is about race.
It is. It is. It's the core driver of them. And I realized that when we saw what's going on when it started and what's continuing to go on in Gaza, it kind of was not a shock to my system, because we've known about the 70 years of what's been going on there. But it showed me that they still, when I say they, I mean whiteness in every form. I don't care the ethnicity. I'm talking about that skin color, that European skin color that is a driving force for them. Don't none of us on this side of the equation truly actually care what anybody's color is. We just want to be left alone. To live and to thrive. But for them, the color of their skin is so important. Their particular bloodline is so important that this is what the reality hit me when I saw what happened October 7th and after, that they will literally bomb your children into oblivion and look at the bodies of your children splayed out on the ground. And then they'll call you racist or anti-Semitic for calling them out for murdering your children. That's the commitment that these devils have on this planet to their whiteness.
Dang, every day is a white complaint. I want to talk to the white manager. Who do I talk to about this?
Talk to the manager.
Like, who is the black manager that we gotta talk? It's the Lord, because ain't nothing that we can do except for what we're doing now. I don't understand why people don't get it, but it's not for me to understand that anymore. I can only do what I can do, and that's all I'm going to continue to do. And when it comes to our black children, especially who are in the public eye, I don't care who their daddy is. I don't care how arrogant their daddy is at one point in time. We get to do that because the next white child, right? The next white NFL draft gets up there and is as arrogant as possible, or is showing off him being an evangelical and then still on food stamps and welfare and stuff like that, but get a pass in life. I want to see the next little white kid when they come up and they get drafted and they're coming out arrogant. That boy, Kelsey, was that his name? Kelsey, the white boy that's dating Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember that when we first saw him? He was I'm trying to make sure I find it.
It's hard.
He was black-ish.
He was. Yep, he sure was.
And he was getting his hair cut a certain kind of way. He was, to me, just because he didn't act, that boy was arrogant. He showed up. He was dating black. He got a haircut. He claimed the haircut, and because he was like, I can't claim but they were calling it the Kelsey fade. They didn't care. Then he adopted the rapist man mustache. And then
Rebecca.
he started dating the whitest of the whites of the white girls, who is a product of pure nepotism and no talent.
I love you.
I mean, Taylor Swift. And people in the conservative group wanted to say how much beautiful, this is the most beautiful he's ever dated. This is that, this is this. Making the black girl look like she did something wrong at some point or whatever, when there was a relationship that just, you see what I'm saying? They didn't say anything about Kelsey. They didn't say nothing about him. They didn't say anything about but Brett Favre. I'm naming just white names that I know in the NFL. They didn't say anything about the other man that had like the whole incident, stealing money, all the type of things. They actually leveled him up on the field. Mike Vick didn't get an opportunity. They kicked his black behind right off. Ocho Cinco talks about how he didn't even have a long-standing career within the NFL. A lot of these black men are just known for their short careers. And I see a 45-year-old, I don't even know his name, but a 45-year-old man throwing a football. That's crazy business.
Yeah, I forgot his name too.
That's crazy. Man bald in the back. He got the white people ball, the Carl Winslow, but when the white version gone. Top was missing.
Top back.
18-year-olds on the field with that. No, absolutely not. It's all about race, and nobody can tell me. So stop trying to humble that little boy. I don't care what y'all say. As black people sitting there in the comment section, whether you like sports or not, I'm talking about, don't miss me with the fact that this happens all the time. We got to start unpacking why we're okay with it happening all the time, especially to our black boys.
That's real. That's just like what was the country singer? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Was that Morgan Wallen?
The Boozy?
No, it was a country singer, white country singer, who said some racist comments or something. And when I tell you, and it's like he apologized, so he said what he said, apologized, and now he like the number one thing in country. I cannot remember his name, but I want to say, I want to say it was Morgan.
As a white person,
yep,
and you're say something that is anti-white rhetoric that's dangerous. Literally say something that sticks up for your black community. Say something, and you will be tattooed as. Now imagine if Shedeur did this to the Atlanta Falcons coordinator's son who was getting drafted.
Hello.
He would not see the light of day. They would find him every which way, but they would find him every which way but rich. They would take every dollar from him, his daddy, his granddaddy, the people, his babies that ain't even come here in the world yet. They would get his mama, his auntie, his grandmother. They would tax everybody they could because that white boy was humiliated on national television.
Yep. He wouldn't even made it to the NFL.
And people want to say, why you want to talk about the what is, man? It's just sports. No, we got to talk about it. We must talk about it. Because it's not only happening in sports, this is mirroring what happens in other spaces when it comes to corporations, when it comes to the digital space, when it comes to anything where a black person is actually good and qualified and expert, has the right to be prideful, has the right to walk with their head held up high. Y'all so used to everything being, oh, this person need to be humble. They think they all that. And do. And do. It will piss people off. They will pull their money from they will pull money from your whatever you're doing because they think that you all of a sudden they'll say that's different. They acting different. Yeah. Because they don't like to see black people stand on top and are happy and joyful about it and walk in that. If it ain't hurting nobody.
Wow. Finish that sentence, please.
If it ain't hurting nobody, what is the problem to you? What is it? Are you losing money about this person being humble? They made sure to, I told you, they made sure to humble him so bad they made money off of the spectacle. I hate that so much, man.
That's the same, the money off the spectacle. The money off the spectacle is literally what that white woman is doing right now. It's literally what that white woman who's getting that money. When you said if it ain't hurting nobody, I thought you were going to go in a different direction, because what I'm typing right now as we talk, and I'm listening and I'm hearing and I'm just processing all this. It's if it's not to them from their lens, if it's not hurting anybody, it's not good enough. They need it to hurt. They need it to be cruel. They need it to take from you. They need to leave us with nothing but despair and hopelessness, because their entire system is built off of that. They grind us to a pulp. They grind us into humiliation. They grind us into despair. And that's how they make their money. And so on both ends, coming and going, we're dealing with people who are so satanically evil, so demonically possessed, just so downright, I have never seen. And I guess we shouldn't be surprised. Like, has there ever been this level of evil with this much power, with this much algorithmic precision? They do it now with artificial intelligence. This is the world that we're living in. And I don't say this to make people despair. I don't say this to make people like to fearmonger or to scare you, but I think it's really important that we're sober and we're really clear-eyed on what precisely we're dealing with. When we're dealing with these people, we're not dealing with regular human beings. We're dealing with human beings that love. And it's that Valentine's Day post from the White House. It's that ASMR post where they were the sounds of deportation, right? If it isn't causing harm, it's not good enough for MAGA.
No, I agree 100%. You talked about the DEI. Actually, I'm bringing it up. They said deport every illegal. That's the only DEI that they're worried about handling. And they were saying deport every illegal. This is what the White House is posting. This is what they're doing. And this is why it cannot be any type of this is where we are. For people to even be considered any, like, yeah, I'm livid that we have this story about this woman who made $500,000 just simply off of the fact that she disrespected this child. And here we are in a world where the White House is making content money. I know they're making $1 or $2, if they are, but they're luring in so many people because their content is enjoyable. Their racist content is enjoyable. To post on social media, deport every illegal, to make an ASMR with chains swinging on the floor.
Yeah.
Deporting people, to make sure that you make an example out of a man who you guys assume, who you guys lied on and said is a part of a gang group, and make sure that he stays over there in one of the worst prisons in the world. You guys have mistakenly deported people, and still y'all show up and y'all take pictures in one of the worst conditions of a prison. A woman just died under ICE, and people are just moving on like we're still doing what we got to do. We're picking up people. That's the most important thing we need to do here. But then get to sell, because everything is racist and everything is about money. Capitalism. They said, we will give you free access to America if you got $5 million. That's the irony of it all.
I know if I got myself pissed off, y'all.
Y'all see why I have. Go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, I found the chicks Give, Send, Go thing. And so I just happened to go to their Twitter page and just looking at the comments, because they removed the comments, and everybody's comparing it to Carmelo Anthony. I know y'all heard about that story, but comparing it to that, just some of the people, man, This country is effed up, bro. It's like I try not to stay on this stuff now because I'm becoming Ben. I'll be posting stuff under people's pages sometimes. Comments.
Get them.
It's too much. It makes no sense, dude. It makes no sense at all.
You
I
don't know what to do, but you
Yeah.
know, as long as we continue to stand on where we stand on with it, our hearts and minds are pure each time.
Yeah.
We can't do anything honestly with what's happening.
But I'm so glad that the battle is not ours.
It's not.
It's not.
It belongs to the Lord.
It belongs to the Lord. Amen.
And if people ever wonder why I ran back into the arms of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, it's
because I was gonna be out here. They was gonna be like, gun control, please.
Yeah, look. Let's keep it 100.
I was losing my mind.
Listen. My wife had to pull me back from before I went back to the pulpit. My wife had to pull me back from catching a charge. All right. So I'm gonna keep it 100. One of the reasons I came back to the Lord in the way that I am, and I'm publicly sharing my ministry like this, is because one, it keeps me from hurting them. And I understand a lot of people are like, well, then you should. That's all the more reason you don't need religion, because you need to go out there and bang, bang, bang. No, you know why? Because they got more guns than us. That's number one. But then number two, I honestly, if at this point, my friends, you don't see that this is spiritual wickedness in high places. This is evil personified. This is demonic possession made flesh. Donald Trump is a representation of a demon that has been made flesh. MAGA is a spirit. This is what we're dealing with. This kind of, and people are like, well, I don't like that kind of moralistic language. If you can't see the evil in this, I don't know what to tell you at this point. Because we're dealing with actual evil that is not satisfied unless it is causing you the greatest level of suffering it can muster. It's evil.
100 days into office. Now we're about what 102 or something at this point, but 100 plus days, just a little over 100 days into office. And we're having this conversation that we were having 8 years ago. And knowing that if we don't continue to say what we're saying, we don't got to say it under the comment section no more. We have these platforms. Y'all come on, share them, like it, subscribe to it, because we're watching people fall into the arms of, as Ben said, evil as from a simple post of an ASMR because of their anti-immigrant rhetoric or their anti-woman feelings or their anti-this. They'll fall right into the arms of this post or retweet it or love it or send it over to a friend.
They'll say, this is what I voted for. And it's like, pump this into my veins. Pump this cruelty in my veins.
And the ones that say, well, this is why I didn't vote, but he got a point.
Rebecca, it makes more sense when you look at it through the eyes of actual evil. Because otherwise, you're like, what is wrong with these people? Why are they doing this? Why are they acting like this? Why are they irrational? Why are they lying so much? Why are they believing lies so much? And you have to understand, every single lie that they believe is necessary for them to execute the evil that they want to execute. They want a race war. They want violence. If they could do Tulsa race massacre every day of the week, they would. Just ask Benjamin Netanyahu, right? And I refuse to not connect this to that devil because it's the same type of devil. And so it's very important for us, one, to keep our peace. Why? Because we got to fight the long fight. And if we get triggered too soon, we'll jump off too soon and we'll take our guns and try to run up against them.
We're not doing that.
And they got more guns than us. So we're going to be smart on that.
And they're training up people in the defense right now. They're like, they done took somebody out, I think recently, and promoted them, somebody who was questionable recently, and promoted them to another position. I forget what it was, but there's so much news going on out of the White House, so much nonsense, so much things to be aware of, so many layers. And so keep your mind right, cover your mind, keep your mind right. And Yeah, I think that's a show. That's a show. We're at the end of the show, and we don't want to leave you like that. We love you, and we mean it. Thank you for definitely keeping. It's been 100 days, and we ain't lose our minds yet. And I'm grateful for it. At least I ain't lose my mind over Donald Trump. It had other things to lose my mind over, but God is still good. Now, I'm grateful that you guys are still here. That means that you guys absolutely loved the episode today. And even though we kind of just winged it and wanted to have a kickback conversation with y'all,
we ain't talked in so long.
We ain't talking so long. We had to make it a family affair. This is our cookout, and we got a little bit of people with some cranberries and the salads and stuff.
Actually, hang on. I like cranberries in my salad. I don't like cranberries.
I liked it. I said I liked it in my chicken salad when I was at, but I say that with a whisper.
But not in the potato salad.
No,
it wasn't. It was a chicken salad at Publix.
Hey, look, that was bussin', right? That'd
be the best one
with the croissant.
Yeah, come on.
Yes.
See, we like some of the same things. We just know where to place it. But, we just put it over here. Don't put it in your potato salad.
My cousin is married to a white. And I say like a Wisconsin, like a, no offense, but like a Minnesota, like that. He's married to one, so sweet, grew up with her, love her, mean it. Went to their house. My aunt is Haitian. They got her living downstairs. The girl's mom is white. They had her come and visit, and they were living inside of this mansion household. My aunt, not that she's living downstairs like a peasant, they literally made downstairs such a beautiful place for her. Thank God my cousin's doing well. Thanksgiving came. The Haitians had that nice, we cut up our turkey. We have a whole one on the side, but we don't really touch that. We cut that turkey up, put it in a little sauce, let it drizzle up on there, let it sit, marinate so it's falling off the bone, and we eat that. Okay? Now, they had a turkey that they brought, and I said, where's the toppings? Because it was so dry. They pulled out cranberry and just threw it on there like it was sauce, and they told us to eat it, and I said no. They were offended because we were downstairs eating rice and peas, turkey cut up, eating real good, and I said to them, they're like, why didn't you eat? She's offended because you didn't eat, and I said, we never would think to put turkey and some kind of cranberry from a can and put it together and eat that ever in life.
Rebecca.
Nope. I know he would. That's American.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm about to say
American.
The canned cranberry jelly be good.
Come on, listen, I ain't gonna lie. Like they got me on
turkey and the dressing in it.
The regular old can, ocean spray.
Yes. We got to take it out the can and slice it up. Yeah, not the whole cranberry one.
Because I listen. This is one place I fall short on. I guess my ethnic purity, because I don't even like all that gritty and you get the natural stuff. You got actual cranberries in there. You got stems in there. It's kind of gritty and grimy. Now give me the jelly that you could slice like butter.
Like butter. Yep. That was my job every Thanksgiving. Bubba, take that out the can and slice the cranberry. Okay.
Look, not in my house. So like I told you. Now you see what you got. I bet you something was flavorful there. This lady brought a turkey that was as dry as ever. And she said in order to make it juicy, they're gonna just put the cranberry on top.
See, no.
Okay. So we're at the end of the show. I do got to get out of here, you guys. Your girl is looking for work, so that's what I will be doing on today. And I have something, a little phone call. Hopefully that leads to a little something for me for about a month. But before we get out of here, we want to read our super chats for the people who did support on today's episode. But before we get to that super chat, I did get a cash app. I want to thank you, Danya. She's always giving. I really appreciate it. She said, I wish I had the audacity of an unwashed white man. I don't know if I read that. Maybe that was for the sorry, friend. Okay, I didn't know. That's where I was going. All right, David, roll the first super chat.
Y'all send some more cash apps on over to the family this morning. Come on.
Wanda, $9.99, sending a little love to Way. Yes, our way. I got you, Wanda. Thank you so much. Tigwick. So Tigwick has been very I'm thankful. Tigwick has been he's been given, or they've been given. Don't even know if Tigwick is I don't even know. But thank you, Tigwick, given and for me to get a new mic, because Mike over on our other show got a new mic. And so he's been given to give me a new mic, and I can't get it yet until they, drop the YouTube money. So whenever that comes, I got you, Tigwick. We getting a new mic because this little thing over here is struggling.
Look, that's how mine was. My little Shure mic. It's the lost cause.
But thank you, Ben. But Ben had been rolling with us.
Okay, right. Hello.
I was
I feel you, Rebecca. I used to have a Saab 995 Aero Sports sedan car. That sounds like a night. Ooh, I get pulled over and I get pulled over and questioned often to how I could afford such a nice car. It was dehumanizing because they don't want us to have nothing. Tiger, they don't want us to have nothing.
It's clear that Tiger. The cops love Tiger because Tiger has been in most stuff with police than a little bit. Tiger, just stay safe, brother.
That's no. Same here, though. Yeah. I live my life, and I feel like here, not even in the city, just here in Georgia, I've never been put. And every single time I get pulled over, the sense of anxiety, all because my childhood situation, the sense of anxiety and then those times that I do get pulled over, it's always the scariest interaction,
right?
Every single time. So yeah, it's terrible. But Tiger, again, I don't know, Ben. All it takes is one Fox News interview for this lady to get a show on Newsmax or something, like the transphobic swimmer. Absolutely.
Funny thing about it is the transphobic swimmer, whatever her name escapes me, but she is so mad to see this white woman get this money for saying the N-word. And somebody said, conservatives are eating each other about this. One conservative said, we should have let the transgender swim. And I was like, good God Almighty. Wow. Another one said, and another one said, she's just mad because this new white lady is moving in on her grift. So there you go.
That part.
It's they fight. They're fighting each other. Let them fight. C33394009. Judge Rodriguez basically removed qualified immunity for all involved in illegal enemy act raids. They can now be held criminally and civilly liable. Qualified immunity is crazy because people use that. Donald Trump has definitely made that a word that we all knew a few years back to let us know that he's using it for other people. But you're saying that they removed it for all involved in illegal enemy act raids.
I got to look that up. I mean,
me too.
I had not seen that particular nuance, but let's see how
and they can now be held criminally and civilly liable. I really want to take a look at that.
Well, here's the thing. Donald Trump has also secured like almost nearly $1 billion of free legal help, and he's allocating a good portion of that to help police officers who are accused.
I was just going to say that I'm not sure. This contrasts from what. Hi everyone. This contrasts from what was the executive order that was recently pushed, giving protection, like you're saying, Ben, but also the fact that I think ICE or Homeland Security just always forget that's there on that file. What the administration just said about no warrants being needed to raid homes as long as they suspect gang members or terrorists or whatever, whatever they're calling undocumented immigrants in order to remove them. So yeah, anyway. All right.
Okay.
I took you all off your vibe.
No. Thank you, David, for clarifying. I appreciate it. All right, next up. But thank you so much for your super chat. It's us really tuning out like we was in class. Not
okay.
As soon as our white producer got on, everybody was like,
Bueller.
You needed to really know what was going on.
Another boring rant.
No,
Aaron.
We really need to go. We really need to know what was going on.
No, we were listening. We were absorbing.
But it just was like, that's really informative.
No, Rebecca, no. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Wow. So
You gotta be
Classic
kidding.
Lord-
I hate black people. I hate black people.
Thank you so much for your super chat. Thank y'all for this amazing show. As a pasty white person, you don't gotta call yourself that, Miss
Right.
White Lady. I'm just so sorry. I'm so tired. I can't imagine how tired y'all are. Thanks again, baby. When I say tired, David just got on here, started talking, and we went to sleep. Tired.
Rebecca, have you ever tried stand-up comedy? My good God, today. Impromptu.
Pendulous Dragon. Thank you so much. Can I see your coffee cup? It looks like mine. It will probably have similar ones. This was Tarjay. I'm not afraid to admit, but this was before
You
y'all
still
started.
shopping at Tarjay? No, I'm
Love you.
messing.
For some people, Tarjay is actually their corner store,
Mhm.
so they have nowhere else around. Like
To shop,
crazy.
yeah.
Love ya, mean it. That's what this says. But this is before the before. Bubba had bought me this cup and never gave it to me, so I see it in the store and I bought it for myself.
It's still like sitting over there in the cabinet too. Like
And
I'm
it's-
looking at it right now.
so-
And it says "Love you, mean it."
Yeah, that's exactly what it says.
So Rebecca got a whole set.
Yeah. So
with the Christmas ornament that Alicia sent.
wow, that's crazy. Please send that. Neon Death 07. Riley Gaines, a swimmer, husband is facing deportation back in the UK. I gotta look it up. Because deportation. Who's just your basement for that? No. Anywho, y'all, we at the end of the show. Please, if you can, if y'all heard about my situation, your girl is out of a job, but she still got Jesus in her heart.
Amen.
And that's it may listen, Jesus paid it all, but I'm still down here trying to pay it all.
Look.
So I just need you guys to please, if you can, help me pay a bill. Help me get it. Is May 1st, May 2nd. No, we are actually on May 3rd now. That rent needs to be paid. If you can, please head over to my Cash App. That is Becca's Voice on Cash App. Becca's Voice on Cash App. That would be helpful to me. I need to make enough to make sure I keep this roof over my head for another 31, maybe 28 days. All right. But and my birthday is on May 15th. So just like Mama Gwen, I am a Taurus. So you can definitely help support with that as well. I'll be dropping a video on this coming week. I think I actually want to change the subject I want to do it on. Ever since Ben just showed this video, my wheels got to turning for this white lady and the black baby. And the funding of racism and pushing them forward to become little next Kyle Rittenhouses. Rittenhouses. I got that name wrong. It's too white. But I really, really, really could use the support. I'm at the end of the show. What y'all got?
Same thing.
Happy
DJ
birthday,
HTC
Mama
Bimbo.
Gwen.
Yes, happy birthday, Mama. Love you, mean it. Happy birthday, Becca. I'm gonna see you before then now. So yeah.
Well, absolutely. Because I ain't got nowhere to go.
Okay.
I'm right here, baby. In the name of Jesus.
Hey.
All right, y'all. I'll see you guys on the next episode. We might do one impromptu since I am still here at the house. You know what we're gonna do. So we probably do an impromptu this upcoming week, midweek, depending on who's available. And then we will definitely see you on next Saturday, right before Mother's Day. And I am reminding you, for those of you guys who don't remember, next Saturday is the Saturday before Mother's Day. That Sunday is Mother's Day.
Appreciate that.
Mother's Day.
Okay.
Yes. I
appreciate that reminder.
Don't say I never did nothing for you. I love you. I mean it. Bye, y'all. The work that we're doing here is not going to stop when it comes to these type of discussions. It's going to be for us and by us here on this platform when the media is telling us to look the other way. Your support is what helps us move forward. Join patreon.com/like it or not. Help us grow.
Like it or not, y'all. Y'all know what time it is.
It's time for like it or not. We're about to let's start this damn show. Yes, it's time for like it or not. We're about to let's start this damn show. Like it or not. Rebecca Azor is in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, or real life ish. I live in life in the ATL.